Hey everyone, this is Dave from Ninja Outreach, and today I'm going to show you the secret to getting exposure from influencers with 4 examples. And this is really, I think, what a lot of people want to know. How do I get exposure from influencers? We all know about influencer marketing and we know that they're out there, but what we don't know is how can we really find the right ones and how can we partner with them to get the exposure that we need. And the trick of it is that not all influencers are created equal. Some of them are already working with brands. They're already doing, guest posting and interviews and things like that. And others are not. And what we need to do is we need to find the ones who are already working with businesses and simply position ourselves as another person they could work with. So they're not really going out of their, general workflow to find somebody. So what do I mean by that? Which influencers are already doing podcasts that you could appear on? Which ones are doing interviews that could feature you? Which ones are doing guest posts that you could write? And which ones are doing giveaways that could feature your product? That's really what it's all about. It's a lot harder to go cold to an influencer who really doesn't do any of those things and try to get them on board to promote you. So luckily, it's not altogether that hard to find a list of bloggers in different niches who are doing these things, and I'm going to show you how to do it today in this video very quickly actually. And the first thing I want to show you is a tool that will make your life a little easier. It's free. It's just a toolbar from Moz. It's an SEO toolbar add-on, and essentially what this allows you to do is export Google results. Because this entire video is just going to show you how to do this free manually from Google. How do I find the blogs that way? But if you can have a plugin that's free and kind of adds on and expedites that process, then absolutely we should use that. So you're going to want to use this for Firefox. This works differently in Chrome. It doesn't have quite all the features instead. So what you're going to want to do is go over to Firefox, find the SEO toolbar by Moz and install it. And once you do, head over to Google. From here on out, you're going to want to make one tiny adjustment just specifically for this project, and that's to go down to the bottom right and click Settings. Go to Search Settings, and when you're there, you have this ability. Normally, the radio button will be on only when my computer is fast enough for Google Instant Predictions. But change that to never show instant results, and then you can increase the results per page to 100. So normally you would pull 10 results, now you're going to pull 100. It's perfectly fine. This is part of the search settings. It's just going to allow the process to go a lot faster. So once you're done with that, you hit save. It's going to save your preferences, and it's going to send you back to Google. And now all you need to do is start finding the bloggers who are doing the things that we mentioned. So let's say, for example, we're in the food niche, and we want to find food blogs who are doing podcasts. What a nifty search operator in Google is the in URL : and then the keyword. And what this means, if you're not familiar with it, is it guarantees that podcast is going to appear somewhere in the URL, and that the search results will be related to food blogs. So if I do a search for this, for example, you'll be able to see very quickly that firstly we're going to have 100 results, not just 10. If I was just to kind of scroll continuously down the page, you see there's now 100 results. You're going to see this little thing here, this kind of toolbar. That's part of the toolbar that you've added. It does provide some interesting information around the domain authority and things like that, but for this purposes you can ignore it. But more importantly is we found a bunch of food blogs who are doing podcasts. If they have podcasts in the URL, they're definitely doing a podcast. There's really just no other reason to be writing about that. So what we can do is we can take these results and we can export them. And this is why I've added this tool, because in the top right over here you've got a little control panel, and you can click Export to a CSV. And what that's going to do is it's going to save the results as a document, and now you've just saved all 100 of these search results in a CSV. You can now open this up as a document. You're going to have all these URLs, and you can start to kind of basically go through them to outreach. So let's look at another example. Maybe I want to look at interviews for SaaS entrepreneurs. because that's what I am. So I'm looking for interviews that I could potentially appear on and get exposure. So all I'm going to do is change the in URL operator to focus on interviews, and now I have SaaS entrepreneurs who are doing interviews. Again, I've got 100 just on this first page one of a bunch of different interview series with entrepreneurs that I can look at. What's another example? How about fitness blogs who do guest posts? So I'll do like this, guest post, run a search, and again, what we're going to find is a bunch of blogs in the fitness niche, and in many cases we actually get sent to their guidelines, because sometimes bloggers have guest post guidelines where they really kind of spell out all the different requirements to guest post. So right away, these top two are guest post guidelines, and we can kind of see that they have nice metrics as well. Domain authorities 29 and 41, and maybe one more example of a mommy blog that does giveaways. And yet again, we're going to grab a bunch of mommy blogs that do product giveaways. So basically, whatever niche you have, whatever type of partnership opportunity that you're looking for, you can get these in Google. You can get a bunch of search results. You can export them to a CSV, and then you can start to perform manual outreach by that way. One way to kind of perform the outreach is simply to go on the website. You're going to have to find the contact information, which is usually a contact URL or an email, and pretty much send them an email and say, hey, look, I saw that you were doing this giveaway for product A. Would you be interested in doing a similar type of giveaway for my product B? And you're going to have a lot higher success rate because you've already got something to reference that says, hey, look, I know that you've done this. You've got a bit of a proof of concept. Maybe the giveaway that they ran got a lot of comments, got a lot of exposure, social shares. So now it's just about really pitching your own product and why it's a good fit. So that is how you can really work with influencers and really accelerate that process with this free toolbar up here, the in URL search operator, changing the settings to show 100 instead of 10, exporting it to a CSV, and then doing your outreach that way. Hope that was a helpful video, and stay tuned for the next one. We're going to be going into more in depth on different ways to partner and work with influencers, specifically from a link building perspective. So you're definitely going to want to check it out, because link building is still a huge part of ranking in Google.